18 of the Raiders. Shotgun snap, four-man rush, line drive throw, and the numbers called. Laporte at the 5. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. As the quarterback, Jared Goff, has just thrown a touchdown pass of 18 yards, and the Lions extend their lead just before halftime.
Two tight ends tight to the formation to the right. Goff, three-step drop, looking left. Now rolls out of the pocket, throws near side, and it's picked off! Marcus Peters down the near sideline at the 50. Gets away from Goff at the 20. Pick six, Raiders! Marcus Peters!
It's 1st and 10. With the Lions at the 27 of the Raiders under center, the quarterback Goff. He gets the snap, hands off. Gibbs breaking a tackle, 20. Coming to the near side, the 10. That is a Detroit touchdown. The rookie with a 27-yard touchdown for the Lions, who extend their lead late in the third, 22-14.
Here's Corey Seager, who swings and drives one deep to right. It sails way out of here. Corey Seager with a line drive home run, a good dozen rows into the seats in right. He's given Texas a 3-0 lead.
The kick, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out, and Texas wins it. 3-1 the final, and Game 3 belongs to the Rangers.
Welcome back to the Border Patrol after a day off, a day between shows, a day of reflection after we had to drag ourselves through a tough Monday after the Chiefs lost to the Broncos. Steven St. John, Nate Bukaty, Marco the intern. You're still on my phone as Marco the intern, that's why I said that. I never changed it.
It's my Halloween costume this year.
Right.
I'll take it.
Marissa the intern. And absolutely the worst version of this song I've ever heard in my life.
It's in the system.
What is this? This isn't the original. And this isn't the Mike Tyson version. And those are the only two I'm really interested in hearing.
Bob Pickett. You're not interested in hearing any more Bob Pickett?
This is not the original. Now, this is the only one that I care about. They did the Monster Mash. That's Bobby Brown and Mike Tyson together. That's a good version. That's really good. That's probably my favorite version. So
I always wondered what that cart sounded like.
Well, now
Never
you
played
know.
it.
Well, you'll hear it a couple more times today, I'm sure. So happy Halloween, everyone. There you go. It's Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Halloween is upon us. Hope you feel better after yesterday, trying to get through that, talking about the Chiefs losing for 4 straight hours, so that was awesome. Today on the show, we'll talk to Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas. He'll be with us at 6:30. Then Joe Valerio, former Chiefs offensive lineman, at 7:30. Mark Bowrichter will be with us to talk about the Chiefs. Is that right? He's going to be on the phone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the road doing some work.
Down in Texas?
I assume so. If he still goes down there for business, I don't know. I don't know where he flew off to. Yes. Yeah. That's right. He visits the prettiest spots down south.
Right. So he'll join us, and boy, he doesn't like McCall Hartman. I have to get to the bottom of this. Find out if it's personal or just professional. I don't know. We're also going to talk to Billy Brimblecom, who is the executive director of Steps of Faith Foundation. And they have a big event coming up on November 11th. And I think a lot of people have either heard of it or taken part in it. Thunder Gong, a benefit for Steps of Faith, and that's hosted by Jason Sudeikis. And that's Saturday, November 11th at the Uptown Theater. And so we're going to have, Billy on to talk about that event that features Jason Sudeikis. And so set that up. They came to me because they know I'm probably the only guy that likes Jason Sudeikis on this show. It's like Nate's the only guy that likes hip-hop music. They know where to go about Jason Sudeikis, so we got that taken care of. He'll be on the show at around 8:45. And then Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star will be with us to talk about the Chiefs. See if he thinks the Chiefs are going to make any moves. Looks like they're not, although there's a report out there that perhaps they're interested in trading Richie James. Instead of acquiring a receiver, they're interested in trading a receiver. So that could be an anticlimactic trade deadline, which is at 3 p.m. this afternoon. 3 p.m., the NFL trade deadline. There was some action, a little bit of action yesterday. In case you weren't paying attention, there was a big trade involving the New York Giants. And so if you're waiting for the Chiefs to do something big, that did not happen yesterday. It's probably not going to happen today either. But, I mean, last year I thought was really good. That was really exciting. Really fun trade deadline. But yesterday the Giants traded defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the Seahawks for a couple of draft picks, a 2024 second-round pick, and a 2025 fifth-round pick. The Giants are taking on most of the $10 million owed to Williams. The Seahawks will owe Williams about $647,000 for the remainder of the season. But they give up a couple of draft picks for what they hope is an impact defensive lineman from the New York Giants. So, and if you're asking me if I think the Chiefs are going to make a move, I don't think so. They don't have the draft capital, and they don't have the room under the salary cap. They could make it happen. They could create some more room under the salary cap and make a deal, but they don't have a whole bunch of draft capital to be thrown around, and they know that's part of the equation when you've got guys making a whole bunch of money like Patrick Mahomes, and rightly so, and other stars that they have to pay. They have to be able to take advantage of the draft to get to draft good, cheap talent to put around their superstars. So I am skeptical that the Chiefs will do something, but you never know with Brett Veach, and we have until 3 o'clock this afternoon to find out. Also last night, the World Series. I don't know how much buzz is out there or how many of our listeners are watching the World Series, but Game 3 goes to the Texas Rangers 3-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Max Scherzer was pitching well, but he had to leave due to back tightness and back spasms, and he said he'll know within a day or two whether or not he can pitch again in this World Series. But he pitched 3 scoreless innings, and the Rangers used 5 pitchers to get through last night to take a 2-1 series lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Rangers 2 wins away from winning the World Championship. So there's your update on what's going on with the World Series, and you can hear that right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, the radio home of the World Series in Kansas City. Also, I would like to mention, if you are looking for a place to watch the game on Sunday. And remember, it's an early morning game, the big game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Well, I've got a spot for you. You can go to Chicken and Pickle, your headquarters for game days, with their 2 locations in North Kansas City and Overland Park. They're going to have some fun this Sunday. Both locations will open at 8 a.m. with select breakfast and brunch items to feed the fans, and they're also going to have their signature Bloody Mary and Mimosa bar. And so if you're looking for a place to watch the game on Sunday, North Kansas City or Overland Park. And I think at Overland Park, there's going to be some former Chiefs players there. We'll get the lowdown on Thursday with Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman. And so you can check that out. But if you're looking for some place to watch the game and enjoy yourself, write down Chicken and Pickle in North Kansas City or in Overland Park. And also, we're going to do a preview show. I know that people are disappointed that the Chiefs lost to the Broncos, but 24-hour rule, now you got to move on. And if you want to check out the show that we're going to do, it's going to be me and Gary Dieter and perhaps Anthony Sherman. Gary Dieter was working on Anthony Sherman, and it looked good. It felt good, but it always depends on what his kid's sports schedule is. But I'll be there, and Gary Dieter will be there, and it's going to be out at the Chicken and Pickle in Overland Park coming up on Friday at 6 o'clock. And so from 6 until 7, it'll be me and Gary Dieter and probably Anthony Sherman at Chicken and Pickle in Overland Park to preview the game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins. So we'll do an hour-long preview show, and so you can come and hang out and join us on Friday. The fellas are a lot of fun, and we'll be out at Chicken and Pickle on Friday to talk about the big game. So there, I got you set up. If you want to come out and preview the game with us, or if you want to come out and then watch the game, I just told you where you can go. Nate Bukaty, where are you? Tell the people, the good people that are listening.
Well, good morning, Stephen. I think I'm going to have to stop by Chicken and Pickle on Friday, and
invite only.
Maybe Benny and I will come out and watch some of the show. Right now, I'm in my second home of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Just called a couple of MLS playoff games on FS1 the last 2 nights, and I've got one again tomorrow night. So that's where I am right now. And the MLS playoffs are in full swing right now.
That's right. Who'd you call last night?
Had Orlando versus Nashville last night. 2 seed versus the 7 seed in the East. Orlando got a big win. They had a huge goal from about 25 yards out, and that was about the only exciting thing that happened in the game. Wasn't the best game, but a good win for Orlando.
All right, there's Nate Bukaty. You know where he is. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch. Is that it?
Twitch,
That's
yeah,
all?
you got it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
The Border Patrol live stream brought to you by our friends at J. Rieger and Company, Kansas City's original distillery. Located in the historic Electric Park District and open for tours and tastings every day. Visit jriegerco.com for more information. And how about this? Exciting announcement coming soon from J. Rieger & Co. and the University of Missouri. Mizzou fans can expect some special products. Football fans and basketball fans will be seeing more of J. Rieger in the future. And there might even be a little special event to go along with that. So you'll be invited, Marco. Nate will not be. But.
Wow.
Well, you don't. Do you want to go to a Mizzou event?
Depends.
Tentatively, it'll be me, Jared Sutton, Brock Christopher, Andrew Jones, and maybe some others.
Wow.
Those are my friends. My only friends. No, I got more friends than that. But those are good guys. I like them. No matter what you say about them, I like those three.
Oh, I think that's a heck of a crew.
Yeah.
And Rieger is a heck of a place.
How come you didn't like the Halloween promo that I did since you refused to? Chad was pissed off at you today or yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah.
What'd I do?
He said he asked you to do the Halloween promo and you didn't do it.
Is that true?
I don't know. Is it?
Are you making that up?
Yeah. But he said that I had to do it because it was the old one was dated because it had something to do with the Chiefs beating the Broncos, so we couldn't use it.
Oh no, that's not. That was only that spot was only good for 16 years. I guess.
You want to hear the stupid promo I put together? You play this for your
With
kids.
the dad jokes?
Yeah. Did you like it? Did you hear it?
Oh, it was great. You know me, I love dad jokes. Those were awesome.
Good.
I'm going to use those all on the kids.
Play a little bit of it, Marco. I want to hear the production value.
Hey, Kansas City, here's some happy Halloween jokes from the Border Patrol. Why don't mummies have friends? Because they're too wrapped up in themselves. What do you get when you cross a vampire and a snowman? Frostbite. Why do skeletons have low self-esteem? Because they have no body to love. What do you call two witches who live together? Brewmates. Why do the ghosts go into the bar? For the booze. Happy Halloween from the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHP.
The studio audience love those jokes.
Is it nerve-wracking to crack jokes like that in front of a live studio audience when you know the immediate feedback?
No. Crowds don't bother me.
You ain't afraid of no crowds?
You think the Chiefs are going to make a trade today before 3?
No.
Yeah. Marco?
No. Their roster's pretty set, I imagine. I mean, Matt Derrick really liked. I think Kendrick Bourne was one of the receivers on his list of.
He tore his ACL.
Yeah. So I just don't see. Like you said, draft capital. We know how much Brett Veach likes to hold on to his picks.
Veach.
It would if there is a trade, it would be one where maybe it's a swap up picks and then you get a player as well.
They don't got no picks. They don't got no money. It's kind of hard to make a deal like that.
It's hard.
Jeremy Fowler, as I mentioned earlier, tweeted yesterday that the Chiefs and Richie James are exploring trade possibilities per a source. James is on the IR but would be healthy for a new team. Appears the odd man out after the McCole Hardman trade. James had 50 catches for 569 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Giants in the year 2022. So we're going to talk to Lance. We're going to talk to Coach right at 6:30. So after we talk to Coach, we're going to listen to Lance Leipold, who I feel is a likable coach. And people listen to him and they say, hey, I like him. I like that guy. And then after that, we're going to come back and we're going to listen to a coach where I feel like a lot of people listen to him talk and say, hey, you know what? I don't like that guy. I don't like the way he talks. We're going to hear about a 5-minute rant from Clemson coach Dabo Swinney, who was very angry. During his coach's show after a call from someone named Tyler from Spartanburg. And so Tyler from Spartanburg was asking Dabo Swinney about his $11.5 million salary and 4-4 record. Dabo Swinney didn't like it, and so he got fired up and gave us about a good 5 minutes or so of a angry response. So, and we're also going to hear Mike Gundy talking about Bedlam and how it's not a rivalry anymore, and what led. His comments led to Brian Bosworth tweeting at him and getting involved and challenging him. So, a lot of stuff going on yesterday on social media that I've tried to keep tabs on for you. And so
it's Halloween now, baby.
Right. We'll discuss all that after we talk to Lance Leipold after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Well, it sounds like
Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John in studio. Nate Bukaty in Florida somewhere. But right now we have Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold on the line. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Stephen. Nate's in Florida.
Yeah.
What's going on in Florida?
This guy's all soccered up. He's calling more soccer. Can't get enough soccer, Coach.
Okay.
More soccer is what he wants.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, you know what, Coach? That's the same thing I've said repeatedly for the past several months. What do? You know what we do? We talk about KU's big win over Oklahoma. That's what we do. How's that sound?
Well, that sounds like something we can do here for a little bit.
Right.
And then, a really good day for us. Weather wasn't the best, but really proud of our guys. We kept battling 7 lead changes in that game. And we found a way, and it's what a great way to get a 6th win. But now we play another one of the teams tied for first place, and that's Iowa State up in Ames. So as we know, we're quickly turning the page in the building here. Absolutely,
but I would like to ask you a question or two about that game on Saturday, specifically your quarterback. Jason Bean, and he threw a couple of picks. And it looked like things might go the other way, but he had one more chance to get it done and drove the team for the winning touchdown, including a 4th and 6 play where, everything was on the line right there, do or die, and he made it happen. And I was, watching the game on television. They went right to a shot of Jason Bean when the final play happened and you guys win, and he just buries his face in a towel in emotion, and had a couple of players on either side of him, talking to him and congratulating him, and I'm sure, telling him things how they felt about him. I just really, man, I felt good for him at that point, because it looked like it may not go that way. And look, and we've talked about the situation. He's next man up. He's the quarterback. He's been the quarterback all year long. And I know you feel great for all your players, but just that was a special moment for him, and you could see the emotion right after that game was over and how much that meant to him.
Yeah, I think so. I think our guys, again, he's well respected within this program for a lot of reasons. Again, playing that position, you got to go through the ups and downs, and he has just kept battling. And part of that fourth quarter really didn't go his way, and yet he, just like we say, you got to turn the page, go to the next play, and he did. He made some big plays for us in that drive, no bigger than the 4th and 6 to Lawrence Arnold, and a lot of things there, and you could see, there's probably a lot of things, you can see the emotion come out, because there's a lot of things probably that he's gone through in his time here at Kansas and even before that. So happy for him. As much as we said before with Jalen not being available, I think there's not a person in this building that doesn't pull for Jason Bean because of the person he is, how hard he's worked, how much he's improved, but yet how he's handled the whole situation as a whole.
All right, one more question before let Nate Bukaty have at it. So you mentioned the weather. When you have a lengthy weather delay like that, you never planned for that, but living in this area, it's a possibility. How do you deal with it? How do you handle that? How did you handle that weather delay?
Well, yeah, and it was interesting because we had no idea it was coming to about 2 plays before, and Michael Payne, our director of football operations, came up and said, we're going to have a weather delay. And it was like, sometimes you can hear the rumbling coming from distance or something, and you kind of know. Everything that I was told was if the rain was coming, it was the second half, more than likely the fourth quarter, and you might even miss us. And so for all of that, the nice thing is being a home team, you have more space. We, just like we do at halftime, one side of the ball goes more in the weight room, one's in the locker room. We can spread it out. Guys who aren't on the travel squad per se, kind of in another area. you're making sure you're hydrating, snacky foods, all that, because now your clock and fuel is kind of on a different schedule. So, in any weather delay, though, anytime there's another strike, you just start the time over again. So that's always the waiting game that you've got to kind of have an idea. But I thought our staff and players handled that really well. Had a chance to regroup, talk about some things, kind of like another halftime. And now all that being said, we didn't come out of it. And when this happened to us at Houston a year ago, we came out and played really well right off the jump, and kind of like Oklahoma did to us, and they kind of grabbed the momentum and used it to their favor.
Nate Bukaty.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. I saw some of your comments after the game in which you said this is probably the biggest win of your time at Kansas, and it got me to thinking about how big of a win it is in my lifetime as a Kansas fan. And there's only two games I can think of that are even up there, and one was the Orange Bowl win against Virginia Tech, and another maybe was a win against Missouri at Arrowhead Stadium. You've seen the numbers, I'm sure, about top 10 wins at home and how long it's been. We talked last week about how Kansas hadn't beaten Oklahoma since I was in college. And there's a huge difference there, because when I was in college, that was like the darkest time in Oklahoma history in my lifetime anyway. They were way down. This is an undefeated Oklahoma team coming to town. And I'm trying to figure out the question I even want to phrase to you, but on top of it, it's not like this just feels like you guys pulled off a fluke in the midst of a bad season. You have been putting together a team that's winning games and improving since you've been there. So that makes this feel like even that much bigger of a deal, I think, to the fan base. Did you get much of a sense? I know you're kind of in a bubble. Do you get much of a sense to what a win like this means to the entire fan base of this university?
I probably don't have the complete understanding. Again, like you say, being in a bubble, moving on, you've got friends and acquaintances that hit you on the phone and things like that. But yeah, and I agree with the things that you've said, without a doubt, and things. But as we tried to talk to our guys yesterday about, this is only a big win if you continue to improve and play well, and you have a huge challenge. I mean, it kind of hit me between the eyes Saturday night when I was watching a game on, I think it was on ESPN, and all of a sudden they talked about the Big 12 race, and they talked about all these teams that are 4-1, and there's 5 teams up there, so the top 5 teams in the conference, and we're not even listed yet. So we got a ways to go. We've got a chance to continue to play well. We have not played, in really, in my estimation, to our abilities on the road, coming off of big wins at home, and we've talked about it. So we've got to do it this week, and then you can start really absorbing what wins like this can do for you when you continue and not have a hangover off of it and continue to progress in the way. That doesn't always mean you're going to win, but you got to make sure that you're progressing as a program.
Lance Leipold is our guest, and as you mentioned, 5 teams at 4-1, and then you're right behind them at 3-2, and one of those teams is your next opponent, Iowa State, and you go up there this Saturday. And this is another lesson. And early in the season, you can't take too much away from a non-con. They lost back-to-back games to Iowa, but then Ohio, and I think people just kind of forgot about Iowa State. And since then, they've won 4 of 5. They're 4-1 in the conference. They've won 3 in a row. When you take a look at Iowa State, how have they turned things around? They've got Rocco Becht, who looks like a good, solid quarterback. What are you expecting to see from the Cyclones on Saturday night?
Yeah, first of all, it's really a compliment, a tribute to Matt Campbell and his staff, because even before the season started, as camp was getting underway, they had huge distractions off the field, lost some players. A lot of people, like you said, kind of forgot about them. An in-state rival game, that's always a battle. Played a road game to a MAC school, which is a tough place to play. And, of course, came up on the short end there, unfortunately for them. But then they just went back to work, and really and I didn't realize this until, again, our communication staff does a great job. It gives me, a lot of information. I think they have like 10 seniors right now that are listed on their roster. So it's a young football team. Well, a young football team starting to get confidence, experience, and they're moving along. And here we are at the end of October, heading into November this weekend, and they're playing some really good football and really kind of, like you said, being consistent, sneaking up on everyone. And Jack Trice Stadium is a tough place to play, especially at night, and we're going to have to be at our best.
Coach, one of the things that you talk about with that Iowa State team, how they're resilient. They had some struggles early in the season, the off-field distractions, and they fought back. To me, that's one of the things that I found so inspiring about your team's effort in the Oklahoma game, and not to beat a dead horse with going back to that game, but as you said, there were so many different swings in that game in which either team could have let things snowball on them. And your team didn't do that. They kept bowing their neck and coming back and fighting back to stay in the game. And I'm curious, like, Jason Bean's obviously a microcosm of that as well. How do you instill that mentality in an entire program, and how long have you felt like your team has had that part of the mentality that you need?
Well, you talk about a lot about one play at a time, good or bad, that you got to go back and do it again. You got to line up and take care of your job, your business, and try to win your battle each and every time. And I do think that some of these things through the course of our time here, there has definitely been a change in body language. They're looking their eye and confidence of, hey, we can battle back. In fact, I was talking to the team, some of our guys yesterday. During the course of a game, it may depend on how often I walk back by the benches, but every time I did, good or bad, the look in their eye was very positive and like, yeah, we got this. Okay, yeah, they might have scored. Yeah, we'll be okay. We know what happened. We know what we got to do. And then there's times, especially in the early days, where confusion and doubt and confidence was lacking. And now that we've been able to do that, and their belief in one another, belief in themselves, belief in what we're doing, all those things have slowly changed, and wins like this even add to that. And again, we've got to make sure that becomes part of the culture on a daily basis.
Finally, Coach, I know you've said this week that Jalen Daniels would still be your starter if he's ready to come back and get healthy. And we saw him on the field, on the sideline, I should say, during this last game. Any updates you can give us just on where he stands right now?
No, not really. And the uniqueness is, most injuries, you get a timetable. Okay, yeah, the guy's going to be out, whatever. Few days, a week, a game. It'll be 3 to 4 weeks, or it's season ending. This is such a unique situation. It's up, it's down a little bit, and how he's feeling, how he's progressing. There's days he's had really good days, and you feel like it can happen at any time, and then there's days where it takes a step back. So nothing really to share yet at this time, and as I also probably said, you saw from yesterday, when it is really close, I'll probably not share as much anyway. So we're going to use any of that to our advantage when it's that time. But again, we're so blessed to have a backup quarterback and a veteran like Jason B.
Coach, what kind of candy are you looking for around the office anywhere since it's Halloween?
Probably the two go-tos are Twizzlers and Reese's. Pretty consistent right there.
Twizzlers and Reese's. All right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm a big Twizzler guy. I love Twizzlers.
What about in the studio for you, Steven?
I like I like Almond Joy because for my whole life, my kids never like it, and so they give me the candy they don't like. And so then Almond Joy is one of them, so I developed a taste for that. I do love Reese's. I like peanut M&Ms. Look at me, Coach. There's not a whole lot that I don't like, to be honest with you. There's a lot of yeses for me. I don't say no.
All right, I got one more question. I don't know how old you are, but I think we're somewhere in the ballpark in some aspect. If
Yeah.
they make Almond Joy, do they still make mounds?
They do, don't they?
Yes.
Marco says yes.
Yeah.
Marco, is that a yes?
Marco,
Yeah,
okay.
Marco. I don't know what the
All
hell he's saying that
Yes,
for.
they do.
Yeah, I would eat them instead of the
Okay.
Almond Joys because it doesn't come with the almonds in it.
Yeah.
You
Wasn't
know
a big
the other
almond
difference
fan.
between an Almond Joy and a mound?
Some what?
A mound is dark chocolate.
Oh, I thought it was the commercial was sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you
Sometimes
don't. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Almond Joy's got nuts. Mounds don't. Is that right? Yeah.
There we go. See?
That's right.
I'm with
All
you,
right.
Coach. I don't think Nate knows what he's talking about. He's down there. He's got his head on the soccer clouds. He doesn't know what he's talking about right now, Coach. I can tell you that. Thank you, Coach. Congrats. Hey, congrats on that big win. We're very happy for you, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great week. Always a pleasure. Rock Chalk.
It's Lance Leipold. So, see, because I have to have a taste for the Almond Joy, or then nothing happens. You know,
Right.
kids aren't eating them.
What is it? It's like I didn't like coconut when I was a kid, but
I
now
love coconut. I've always loved coconut.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I pretty much like anything with nuts in it. There it is.
Well,
That I wanted to reel that one back in as soon as I was saying it, but it's just the truth. You know,
you always feel like a nut.
candy's better with nuts in it or whatever. Isn't everything?
That's right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, chocolate and nuts is a perfect combination.
What are you guys handing out tonight? Oh, I guess Nate is.
I'm handing. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone trick or treats at the Holiday
I'm
Inn.
handing out nothing. I'm going to a little get together for kids.
Are you going to be handed candy then?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for kids.
Well, not no. No, we're going to a little get together, and so we won't be home.
Are you wearing that mask?
Yeah. Yes. I did this. You don't know, Nate. I did the whole Lance Leipold interview in a devil mask. It's you can see on our live stream if you care to.
By the way, how did you like Coach's response to where I am right now?
Yeah. A lot of people share that response. I mean, he's being honest.
Yeah,
You know?
I like that.
Right?
I was trying to think. I think top 3 win all time in my lifetime as a Kansas fan. Saturday.
I like how he clearly stated that he wanted to move on from the Oklahoma win and talk about something else, and twice you went back to the Oklahoma win after I moved on to something else.
Sorry,
Well,
not sorry.
Don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to Lance Leipold. He's probably got something. He goes, I swear, I just told this guy not to. You know, I'm trying to get him.
Make him talk about that win.
I'm trying to get him locked in on Iowa State. You're the one that's looking past Iowa State.
Look, there was a time not long ago when beating a Division I AA team was cause for the fans to storm the field and tear the goalposts down and throw them in Potter Lake.
You need to get over that. This is it's a new day.
It is big time, big time.
Now all that stuff's over. You know.
As long as Lance is there, it is.
I mean, all I feel like I need to get over all the crap that I've been all the baggage I've been carrying with me about like Mizzou. You know, like this always waiting for the other shoe to drop. No, maybe I'm going to drop the shoe on someone's ass. You know. Although I can't even think about this game against Georgia without sweating and being nervous. So, you know. But that's what football's about, isn't it?
That's right.
I mean, who'd have thought?
Emotion there.
Who'd have thought me and you would be sitting here? K-State fans, they get this all the time. But who'd have thought me and you'd be sitting here on Halloween talking about gigantic matchups with first place implications in November?
Not me.
As Gary Pinkel said, it's time to have a November to remember. So let's do it. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. Hello, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here for my friends at Midwest Tinting. Whether you're looking for tinting for your car, home, or business,